Greetings, everybody. Again, in front of you, your favorite host, the celebrity host, Ilona from ILONA TV, where stories do change lives. I love the statement that Alexander the Great says, I am not afraid of the army of lions led by the sheep, but I am afraid of the army of sheep led by the lion. So today we may have that lion in front of us who is not afraid to lead sheep to the right place. So let's welcome in my studio Alfonso, known as a laundryman, and he'll be able to share all about how he transformed this place into something that greater. Alfonso?
Hey, how you doing, Alana?
I am blessed, you know that. So laundryman, Alfonso, where this come from?
Just cleaning up my act and changing my life and basically having a better conduct of behavior, you know, because I come from bad behavior, so cleaning up my act.
Bad is very relative and very subjective. So I want you to define what the bad is so people will know how bad the bad is. So it will be objectively bad.
Well, I would just say contaminate my village and doing bad things to the people around me.
Okay, we're going to define bad again. What do you mean by bad? I want you to go and just give us and tell us what did you do to your village?
Hustling, selling drugs, gang banging, and being violent, and, you know, having a dope man disease, and just, you know, being a hustler. And that's not good actions.
Well, now it's not good. Back then, you didn't feel like it was bad, was it? Or it felt right to you doing those things?
I was a fool. I could say I was a fool because I was raised, you know, in a broken home and contaminated environment where nobody told you the right thing, and when you walked outside, you didn't see nobody doing good.
So that was your way of life.
Environment, product of my environment.
Yes, you didn't know anything better. That was it. When I got to this country, I was trained and raised by the gang member, Chicago gang member. And he told me, and when I interviewed the people from the gang, one thing I find in common that the reason that they go to the gang because they had a void and they need to have a sense of belonging. Let me ask you the question, what was your void and why did you want to feel like you belonged to something? What was missing?
Well, I agree with the person who trained you because the ruins of a nation start at home. My mom was doing drugs. I didn't meet my father till I was 28. My brothers was hustling, my uncles was hustling. So I come from a broken home where, you know, and the void was, you know, going outside to have acceptance, but it was the wrong acceptance.
But at the time, people just want to be belonging. They want to be accepted by something or someone. And sometimes it's a drug, sometimes it's a gang, sometimes it can be good environment or bad environment. And we know that bad environment, you know, spreads faster.
Well, I would say my acceptance was I wanted to survive because my mom was doing drugs, the lights was off, wasn't, you know, my shoes was bad, come home, ain't no food. So that's when I became a street pharmacist, just to eat and provide. I had a little brother, little sister, they daddies was gone, so you come home from school and you in the 8th grade and then you got a little brother who's 4 and, you know, mama gone, he needs some noodles, ain't no nothing, so that's when you just, the survival mode kicks in.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Unfortunately, most people do not know what survival mode is. You know, I can tell that we're blessed, we're privileged, right, in one way or another, and it's hard. We have a saying that full man that has a full stomach will never understand the man with the empty stomach. Because they're very, very different, very distinct, because you don't know what the man with the empty stomach can achieve and can do and such. So what in your past that you are still holding on? Why? I mean, I'm sure you have something in your past that is chasing you, and how do you find the peace with your past?
Well, that's a good question. Well, what haunts me is coming back to the village and seeing the younger generation stuck in a cycle of what I seen, though, you know, no mamas and no fathers and going, like you said, for the wrong acceptance, the wrong belonging. So that haunts me to really never leave them, especially the kids, you know, that's 7 or 9 or 12, the word says God's favorite peoples is babies and fools. So a fool is a person who don't know, what he's doing wrong. So the hunting me is leaving a fool behind.
So that was your pain.
Yes.
That was the thing that left behind. But when we raise, when we mature, when we change our life, way of living life, you realize something in your life has changed and shifted, right? And then you go back, and then you feel that was me, that kid was me.
Yes.
At that time. So only person who really went through the same hustle, the same pain, can only understand that very person. But why is such kind of epidemic of void of is it the fatherhood that we're missing?
Yes.
What is the missing? And let me also ask you another question too. It's individual, right? Individual has a different aspect of the help. It's a government help, education comes in, right? The system kicks in, and the family, and also church. So what part of that four aspect is responsible for raising the kid?
I would say the spiritual, number one, the spiritual lack. I was just blessed that God had a purpose for me and chose me, because when God chooses you, he's going to use you. When God chooses you, he's going to use you to be an example to where they say, man, look at him. He's doing that. He can do that. Well, I can do that. Well, I say this is spiritual. I feel as, I can only speak for me and my people, but as a black community, the spiritual aspect has been taken out the home. And the survival aspect and the educational aspect and the prosperity aspect has took over.
Who's responsible for all of this?
I would say the village, not just the village, because even if my family got it and we go outside and the rest of the village is contaminated and doing things that's not spiritually motivated, my family's going to be in trouble. So I say the village. I wouldn't even say society, because everybody has their village, and once they go outside their village, they're in society. So I say the village. Who's ever your next door neighbor, and who's ever living amongst you and abroad, is everybody should come together and have the same mindset spiritually.
So again, who's going to be responsible for the spiritual growth? Is it the church? Do you think the church is not stepping in and doing the great job, or is the government not pushing the church to be part of your life? So where's the missing link?
I would still say the village, because the village people makes up the church. So I feel because I'm never gonna blame the church. I'm gonna blame the village, because everybody still don't have the same belief systems. Say it might be a Muslim next door, it might be an African spiritual next door, it might be a Hindu, it might be a Jewish lady, and we might not have the same beliefs. But as a village, we still gonna have to come together and make sure everything in that broad circle is clicking right.
Define village.
Village is people that live in your proximity, your neighbor, the person across the way, the person diagonally, anybody that's living in your proximity.
Pretty much they're responsible for you.
We are responsible for each other as human beings, even if you're a Muslim, Christian, Jewish, African spirituality. We all responsible for each other
Well,
at the end of the day.
I wanted to go deeper with that, because I grew up with the same village too, and we ate from the same plate. So it didn't matter for my mom to feed my neighbors at home, or they would feed me at their home. So village is very important.
Yes.
It's more than a community. It's more deeper and more intimate than a community.
Yes.
And when it gets contaminated, you get affected by it.
Yes. And
you rely on the village.
So that's why communication. I have to know what's going on. I have to watch my neighbor. I have to make sure that the children and the marriage and the finances and the health and just caring, about my neighbor. Rather, they're different religion, they're different race, or whatever's different, it's gonna be different, because we're all humans. But just looking and watching, hey, you all right? Hey, what can I do to help? What's going on? How can I help you? Hey, is everything going on? If you need me, I got you. What's up?
When did you have the first time encounter with God, like real encounter with God? When he was like, okay, I got you.
When I was young,
Tell us
Southeast Minneapolis, living in the projects, I used to go to this rock and just rap, because I was a rapper, and that's when I had my premonition that the Creator was with me. And that's why I could say that the Creator chose me and picked me and came to me personally. I wasn't raised in a church home, or I wasn't raised going to church, or I wasn't raised in a godly environment. You know, I was raised in a dark and treacherous environment. So that's why I always thank God, say thank you, because I didn't have nobody to teach me about God. God came and say, hey man, I love you, and that's why I always be convicted about doing right or doing what God, just being obedient no matter what's going on right now. I want to be obedient because obedience is better than sacrifice.
Yep, that's the biblical one. What does obedience means to you? Define it.
Doing what God want me to do instead of what I want to do.
What does He want for you to do?
Love first,
Who?
God and people and the humans and the earth, the animals,
No,
nature.
love yourself.
Yes, I agree.
Before you love others.
I agree. I agree with that. But also too, as humans, I feel that loving God more than you love yourself, it is going to give you the basis of loving others and loving the animals and loving Mother Nature, because there's a lot of people that love themselves, but they don't care about the animals. They don't care about Mother Nature.
That's a different kind of love.
I respect that.
Yes, and people need to know the difference between self-love and love from God.
I know that's right.
The two different things and stuff. So this is very important topic, right, that we're like speaking about. And it took me 20 years to love myself before I love my neighbor. I usually would love my neighbor, but the second part, as yourself, was missing in my life. And I made lots of mistakes.
And I agree.
In that matter.
I agree.
So now the life is much better. So who is your inspiration in life that you always look up to, and like, do you want to be just like that?
That's a good question. If I had to say that, I would say my brother, my big brother. Even though that he had a rough life and he made a lot of, decisions that wasn't coordinated to the Creator, he got his life together. And he changed, and he always wanted to do better. He always wanted to do better. Even though we were stuck in a dark environment, he always wanted to do better. He never liked doing wrong. Even though he was doing wrong, he was always stressed and depressed about doing what he was doing. So that was one thing that I looked and had a knack for, of not liking to do wrong because of him.
Sometimes when we start loving, we start seeing things that we have done. And I'm wondering what part of your life or you still have to forgive.
That's a good question, because in the when wash machines, it's different cycles. Whether it's wash, rinse, dry, spin. That's a good question. Just from what I was doing in the past, contaminating my village and do like that, I always ask for forgiveness. But me doing right, me being on here, talking about the right things, it gives me the power to know that the clean slate, and that's what the Lord was about, cleaning your slate.
Yeah, that's very important. Let's say you have face-to-face encounter with the person that you hurt the most in your life. What would you want to tell that person right now?
Well,
to somebody that you hurt the most in your life.
Well, I do that when I have my backpack drives and my school supplies and my coat drives, and I tell the people that I sold drugs to, hey, y'all, I'm sorry, and forgive me, and if anything I could do to help the next generation or help the village, I'm here, because I done cleaned up my dirty act, and I'm here, and please forgive me, and more than anything, just telling them leading by example so they can see it. Not just tell them, because a lot of people say a lot of things, but when the people see you doing things that they ain't never seen you do or usually seen you doing, they say, hey, well, he really cleaned up his dirty act.
Yeah, I think it's time for men to actually step up.
Exactly.
Into their places.
Exactly, and
so
doing.
So the women can do their own job, so men can lead with a vision, with the right motives, and of course with God by their side, because Bible says that man without a vision shall perish. Bible doesn't say that man without education shall perish, man without hobby shall perish, man without the career shall perish, but man without vision. That's the danger zone of every individual. If you don't know where you're going, I'm not going to go with you. Period.
Exactly. That's where I'm here
So
right now.
exactly, and that's why when you say I'm going back to my village, you're going back to your village with the right vision to lead them to the place where you don't want to end up, because you've been there.
Ooh, you're absolutely right.
So you've been there and stuff. So what's next for you?
Continue to lead by example, and get bigger and broader and go to other communities too, because I'm from Minneapolis. So first I started in Minneapolis, and then I want to go to Chicago, I want to go to Oakland, I want to go to Miami, I want to go to Africa, I want to go to Russia, I want to go to China. It's every place in the world has people that's going through something, whether it's poverty, whether it's domestic violence. So my thing is to keep going and spread love and change and cleaning up your dirty act. Whether it's, if you got an anger problem, help you to stay calm. If you got a diet problem, I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian 18 years. Help
For
you.
the black man to be vegetarian, come on, Alfonso.
Yes, I am a vegetarian 8 years. In the black community, we have the lowest lifespan in
Because of
America
what?
because the diet.
Yes.
So that's why when I come and they say, no, I don't need no chicken. No, you don't eat no chicken, just like you. They said, he don't need no chicken. Where he come from? But that's the Lord.
It was another, I just wanted them to know that, hey, the black man sitting right in front of me doesn't eat chicken, come on.
Yes, truthful.
But you're the great example of saying that when God comes into my life, hey, he can take over the chicken.
Yes.
All the grease of my life.
Yes. And then your appetite is one of the biggest lustful situations.
Ooh,
Yes.
yes.
So if you could control your appetite, you could control a lot.
Why do you think serpent was crawling on his belly?
Yes.
And he started this lust with the apple to try with the knowledge.
Exactly.
He didn't start with anything else. That's why to have a spiritual fasting with the food is important.
Yes.
Because it started with the belly, and God had cursed his belly.
Yes.
You will always be crawling. And that's why most violence start with what? Because you need to eat.
Hunger. Yes, and that's why.
That's why you start.
And that's one of our biggest things that that I tell the black community is that your appetite is big because of your second gut. So you have to have a healthy lifestyle with your food intake before you can have a career or anything, because what you eat matters on how you think.
Yes.
And what your mood,
Definitely.
too much sugar, too much things that have you just out of pocket.
Exactly. And seeing that you have changed your life in this way can actually benefit them too. They're like, wow, if he can do it, look at him, and I can do the same thing too. And people need to know that food is everything. In the Bible, like food from the beginning to the end, feast, people are coming in, so it starts with it too. And when I was growing up, I was a very good student. But I was always fascinated by the bad guys. What makes them go and do the bad things? What motivates them? So I said to myself, I'm going to do something bad too.
Because
And let me ask you these things. There's adrenaline kicks in when you do the bad things, when you're robbing someone, when you do something. So what was that spark when you were doing that thing? Because it's a feeling too.
Well, I could say I was hungry. Like you said, the belly, like you said, I was hungry. You coming home, ain't no noodles, ain't no. I never felt good doing wrong. I always like, oh man, I gotta hustle. I was hustling. I never felt. That's why my brother, my big brother, is somebody I look up to, because he always used to tell me, hey, You don't love it. Don't never fall in love with doing wrong. And I had older guys, we call them big homies. I had big homies that always seasoned me like, hey, don't never fall in love with doing wrong. Hey man, well, if you can sell them drugs, man, you can sell some lemonade too. You can sell some apples too. You can sell something too. Well, just never get me comfortable at doing the wrong thing. So I never really got comfortable with doing wrong. But back to, like you said, the adrenaline of everybody likes the bad guy because the world glorifies the bad guy. The world never glorifies the good guy. Like when I come through it's sad, but when I come through my village, the only people that give me love and glorify me is the babies. It's the kids because they're the pure ones. When they see me, they say, oh my God, it's the laundry man, because the creator is connected to them. But people of my age bracket and things like that, they kind of shun me, you know, because the bad guy is looked at, the bad guy who they root for in the movie, everybody roots for the bad guy. Nobody
we need the villains.
Yeah, so the villain,
adrenaline
exactly.
To
So,
us,
but you know, but the villain always, and this is something I know, being from the urban area, the villain always go out bad.
You know why? They lack love.
Exactly.
They need to be acceptance.
Exactly.
And they want to be stand out so the people will pay attention to them. So every bad person with a bad behavior, I learned to love them more because they're missing something in their lives. They need attention. They're having the void in their lives. And that's why they become bad. The good people, they don't need to prove anything to anyone. Bad person, they have to prove. They have to prove a lot to the community.
And that's why I go love on them. And I don't judge them and I don't point the finger at them, but I go love on them. But when I love on them, I show them tough love, because you got to show a villain tough love. Because a villain's already tough. Villain don't like nothing soft. So I come show the villain the tough love. Hey man, I love you, man. What you want to do? But check this out. Let's get some stocks. Let's do this.
Facade.
Yes.
Facade,
but I tell them, hey man, you want to get some stocks? Because the FBI could be right around the corner looking at you. And so I show them tough love.
I have a new nickname for you. From a dope dealer to a hope dealer.
Ooh. Yes.
How about that?
And I got this thing I call the dope man disease, meaning like when a person has a disease, they have to do all these things to cure it. You know, me being a laundryman cleared my dope man disease, where I sell glasses. I got a marketing campaign. You know, I sell a lot of legal things and things that's healthy.
Let's pause it in a minute and talk about the legal things that you sell. So, and also the cause behind that. So talk to us about your glasses. You know, they're different shades, different designs, completely different from the market. How, you know, where can we get them and what they stand for?
Okay, well, we got these glasses called Black Chanel, because Chanel was one of my favorite.
How does it spell?
It's BLVNEL. CHVNEL, because Chanel was one of my favorite designers. So
she's my favorite too.
So I like Chanel when Chanel gives back and does a lot of things. So we came up with something called Black Chanel to just bring all the designers together, because in the designer world, nobody wants to collaborate. They want to be over there, So we just thought about bringing the collaboration together and to where, because you know, like something about the black community, we love we don't care who made it, whether it was Gucci, but we gonna sport it, we gonna rock it, and we gonna do that. So just to bring the awareness of the unity of to where everybody like our designs too, and have every races and people rock our designs too, but just bringing the pot together and mixing it together so we can be great designers and be great influencers too. But yeah, glasses, I got some called Laundryland USA. That's, you know, it's more just clothes and hats and merchandise just to show the hustlers with the dope man disease. If you can sell illegal narcotics and you can do it good, why can't you sell a hat? Why can't you sell a shirt? Why can't you come up with bottles of water?
Just like your brother said to you, do not get in love.
Exactly.
With
and then you coming
bad.
up with this bread. You coming up with all this money. You got 70, 80,000. You could take 15, 12 bands and get a kid that's just gonna do the same thing that the illegal narcotics do.
So you pretty much, God doesn't change your characters. He just changed the way you live.
Exactly.
And that's what I like. You know, God doesn't disturb you.
No, and obedience is better than sacrifice. I come through here with a bag full of glasses. What's up? I got these glasses. What's up? They like, But to show, no, I know I ain't done sold drugs in years. But to show them the hustle is still in me, it just ain't gonna do nothing that's gonna destroy the village and tear down that mama or tear down that daddy where it can't be hands-on with the baby or be hands-on with the Lord praying and doing the things it's supposed to be doing because it's destructed by a narcotic. No.
Growing up in the Soviet Union, we were drilled to stay away from people like this. And when I seen these people like that, I always had a prejudgment about their lives. They're bad, stay away from them and things like that. And we were also drilled, stay away from the men with the tattoos because they represent prison. Do not marry person with a tattoo, period. When I came to this country, it took me a while, years to change my perspective on that particular thing. And I successfully run a rehab center for over 2,000 prisoners and criminals. Creeps everywhere. Never felt any safer there than at the church. Because they had the void in their lives, and all of these things that they were wearing is just a facade to show people who they are.
But you had love though. So see, love.
Tough love.
Tough love
You
breaks down the barrier, not
cannot
soft.
show them the soft love.
Exactly.
They like discipline, they like the firmness, and they like directness.
Exactly.
That's
because,
what they like.
Because to criminals and people that and that's rough, they always think that softness or think is
It's
manipulation.
yes,
They
and
believe
weakness too.
exactly and manipulation and weakness, and they don't believe in weakness. They believe in discipline and tough love.
Exactly,
That's
right.
how I get. You know, they might shun me a little bit, but they respect me though, because I don't come through being weak. I come through being very loving and strong though. Nothing weak at all, but very.
Strengths can come with a different shape and form too. You
Exactly.
don't have to always be loud to showcase your strength. Sometimes when you see the confidence in you, in the quiet, because silence is the best attribute to the confidence. Sometimes people come in, men, and they like to be loud. They like to kind of peacock in front of one another. And that's the biggest indicator to me that that person is not one that I can rely on.
Right.
I will never rely on the one who shows off his greatness, like in front of others, but the one who sits silently quiet because he's confident.
Exactly.
And such. And that's one of the things that my mentor, gang member, taught me a lot, how to dominate and lead in a space that is male-dominated culture.
And that's powerful.
It's very, and for me, being a woman of white woman with an accent, immigrant, to do something like that, that was unheard of. But he made me to be successful because he showed me completely different side of the coin of the people with the tattoos, people who are, you know, let's say peacocking, people who are like drug dealers and all that kind of creeps. I fell in love with all of them. I'm like, man, that's what they need, but tough.
Yes, I agree.
Tough love. So this month is Black History Month. What that means to you?
Black History Month, greatness, forgiveness, future, unity, and village.
Community village?
Yes.
Like in a village. Then.
Yeah, community and village, because we need more. We have everything that we need. We just need more unity, stick together, more communication, you know, more systems, you know, that excuse me, that put us in place to, you know, take care of the next generation. You know, there's too many excuse me, people that get up here forget about the ones down here. You know, that's the goal, to always give back and always come back to make sure the village stays on track.
This is your camera, number 3. You're going to speak to that person in your village who needs right now the hope and who needs right now God. Talk to them.
Always know that, you know, the forecast is going to change. I don't care if it's cold outside right now, about a couple months it's going to be summertime. So don't never give up. You know, long as you wake up, you have a chance to do the right thing. The forecast is going to change. So don't never feel that, you know, the weather and the forecast is going to stay the same in your life. It might be raining, it might be sunny, it might be a tornado. That's the cause of nature. So when the bad things come your way, just know tomorrow could be a sunny day.
Like the Bible says, the joy comes in the morning,
Exactly.
right?
As long as you can wake up, that's the number one blessings of life, just waking up. If you wake up in the morning, God ain't through with you. And no matter what's going on, as long as you wake up, you should feel happy.
Yeah, I always tell that as the minute you open up your two eyes, that means God had not done with you yet. That's it. So we just want to thank you for being with us
Thank
today.
you. I really appreciate
For
it.
being that cool, hip, that being authentic, and scare people off with your language probably and such like that. So, but we will have you next time too, where we can go deeper, what you actually do here, and your other businesses that you own here, and how you impact the Black community here.
And I'm
as
glad
well.
you just said about being authentic, because I don't mean to scare nobody, but I have to be authentic.
Oh, go ahead, scare people. I want it. That's how you become authentic. Do you think I didn't scare people when I came to the country? They
Oh,
call me Russian.
you're very strong and
They call me
and
Russian KGB for no.
oh man, you're very strong. The
They
way you
complain
move,
to my boss like
I
all
know,
the time.
I know you ruffle a lot of feathers because your posterior is like very strong. So I know they like, oh man.
But I had to learn that on the streets.
Yes, you do.
It didn't come to me easy. I didn't grow up like this. I didn't need that. But going through the streets, through the hunger, through devastation and stuff like that, do you think I'm going to not to develop a tough skin? I didn't rely on you or anybody else to defend me.
I know that's right.
I had to do it my own. And that's why this is the facade that I bring until I get to know the person.
I know that's right.
That's right.
That's how it's supposed to be.
So today, we just had a great revelation and a great conversation with the guests. And that's what we do here in ILONA TV. We just have a conversation with one way or another, right? And to you, again, I want to remind you, do not dim your light for no one else, because you deserve something greatness, because it's inside of you. And remember, no matter what it is, do not forget that tomorrow will be better than today.